about to be live. There we go. All right, everybody. This is the third installment of the Motorsports Veterans podcast by Stroker Industries, where basically we talk to military veterans who participate in motorsports. And today we have Justin Fortunato. Did I say that correctly?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's close enough.
I get my last name gets hacked all the time too.
Yeah, man. People just like throw in random like vowels and consonants. And they're like, Mr. Fontanato, and I'm like, just say Justin, and I'll just wave. You know.
Yeah, there you go.
It's all good, man.
So what do you ride? Motocross or enduro, or what do you ride?
I ride primarily motocross and not very well. So I started out like I have I rode street and Harleys and choppers and everything for 10 years since like 2007. So that's 11 years now. So I started out on a Gixxer 600, and then I got a Softail, and then I got like an obscene chopper that had an engine that was larger than a Volkswagen. So I did move when I got out of the military. I sold my chopper and I moved to Texas for a little bit, and then I moved to SoCal, where I started a job building low Earth orbit rockets. And then all my buddies that I worked with were all motocross guys. So like I always wanted to ride motocross, but like didn't really know anybody, didn't really know how to get into it or anything like that. My buddy was like, "Yo, come out and you can ride my Suzuki, RMZ 450." So I was like 220 pounds, right? So I get on this 450, and it's like the first time like ever riding a dirt bike, besides when I was like 13, 14 years old, putting around in a parking lot. And it was like riding a motorcycle on marbles. It was like the most uncomfortable I've ever felt in my entire life. And I was like, this is bitching. I want to do this. So he goes, well, you're over 200 pounds, so go out and buy a 450. Like a jerk. So I went out and I bought the 2017 Husqvarna FC 450. So like the biggest, baddest bike you can get. And I'm absolutely terrified of the thing. It's great.
Do you still have the same bike?
Yeah, so I have the 17 FC 450, and then I ended up getting a 2006 YZ 125 as well.
Nice.
So if like I'll ride the 125 like 2-3 times to one on the 450, but then when I bring out the 450, I'm a lot faster on it. So like because you have to be jamming, you know what I mean? Like I'm 205 right now, but I have to be freaking jamming on a 125 to get that bike to move.
Well, that's how they are anyway. Like 125s only make power at the very, very top end of the RPM range, and if you're not like just basically what you would think of riding it like you're trying to blow it up, you're not going anywhere. Yeah. You basically got to hold it pinned, shift a lot, clutch a lot.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a great training tool. Plus, like it's a little, I don't know, you feel kind of more comfortable on it because it's a lighter bike. You can move it around a little bit more. But yeah, that helped me out a ton because I went from being like scared to death of my 450, big, heavy, loud. And I'm not used to flying through the air. I'm used to trying to keep both my wheels on the ground, And but yeah, that 125 just helped a ton, and it's fun, dude. Like you can't not smile when you're riding a 125. You're like grinning like an idiot the whole time. So,
yeah. The other thing too, with like two strokes and stuff, you really have to charge the corners harder. Basically, you can't be lazy. A 450, you can be lazy. And I think going back and forth forces you to still try and charge corners hard and be aggressive. And then that still carries over a little bit onto the 450.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like, you have to, a 450, you can decide at the base of a jump if you want to hit the jump or not.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, all right, you know, I'm just gonna hit it. 125, you have to decide two or three jumps ahead of that jump if you're gonna hit that jump. You know, and you're like, okay, I gotta hit this thing. I gotta keep my momentum going. You know, so
Yeah.
it
Upshift.
makes you right. Yeah, it makes you think a lot more. So I mean, and I am by no means a good motocross rider. So I mean, if you see me out there, I look like the Michelin Man. I have every piece of protective. I have a neck brace. I got the IRO helmet. You know, my knee braces are like Don Joy knee braces. You know, I got every piece of safety equipment that you can. I just recently stopped wearing my mountain bike elbow pads underneath my jersey because I was like, dude, this shit hurts when you hit the ground, and I hit the ground a lot. So
Yeah. Yeah. Hitting the ground sucks.
yeah,
I know all too
for
much
sure.
about that. So you're in SoCal now?
No, I used to be in SoCal. I actually moved up to the Seattle area.
Okay,
So
for
my whole
work
family's
or
what's up?
for work?
Yeah, so my whole family's up here, and my dad's company's up here. So I'm actually working for him while I'm going back to college after 12 years.
Wow. Um,
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. I'm in like I just started like I went from adding apples and oranges, and now I am dividing apples and oranges. So I'm in the same math. I'm in algebra 2 trig, which is the same math I was in senior year of high school.
that's funny.
And I sit next to a kid who's 16 years old, and I'm like, don't ask me anything, all right? Like don't even talk to me.
Um, how long did you serve for, and what branch?
So I was Marine Corps, and I was in the Marines for about 9 years and 3 or 4 months, give or take.
Wow.
So
Uh,
yeah, I did. I worked on Hughes and Cobra, so I was an avionics technician, and then quality assurance guy. So we did communications, navigation, and weapon systems tech, and then like QA and stuff. So we would do like the safer flight stuff, and we were like the last guys to look at it before the pilots would get in and stuff like that. Other than like the engine shop guys had what's called a plane captain, and they would inspect the aircrafts like right or aircraft or do the pre-flight as well, like before the pilots get in. But I handle all the electronics.
nice.
Yeah.
So where were you stationed at various points?
Yeah, so I was in. I started out in California, so I was out there at Camp Pendleton, and then I re-enlisted in Camp Pendleton, and then I moved to Jacksonville, North Carolina, which is like I don't know if you've ever been to Jacksonville, North Carolina, but like North Carolina is cool, except for like it's the home of like the slowest left and right hand turns ever. Period. Like somebody will put their blinker on and hit the brakes, like 2 stoplights ahead of where they got to turn right, and I'm just like get out of the way, like just get out of the way, man, just fucking move. But
I think that's just the
if you like
South.
tattoos, what's up?
I think that's just the South.
Yeah, I mean, that might be. I mean, everybody was super nice, but the other thing I ran into a lot down there is I can do that, not this is what I do for a living. So, like, I'd bring my bike in. I'm like, hey, man, like, my bike's acting kind of funny. Like, it's doing this, it's doing that. Can you say, yeah, I can do that. And then, like, 2 weeks later, I get my bike back, and it was messed up worse than before. And the guy's like, well, I mean, I told you I'd give it a try. But I'm like, so, but yeah, so North Carolina, if you Google things to do in Jacksonville, North Carolina, it says go to Wilmington, which is like an hour south. So
Okay.
that's spent a lot of time down there. That place is pretty cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say Wilmington's fun.
Yeah, Wilmington was all right. For sure.
So how did you get in contact with Chris from Stroker?
So, Chris, every time I do, because I ride with the Vet MX organization, which once you talk to Bobby Castile, I don't know if you talked to him yet already, but that guy will tell you everything you need to know about this organization. It's really kind of cool. because especially for me, like coming up from SoCal, and like I didn't know anybody, coming up here. I haven't been here in 12 years. All my friends are either A, doing the same thing they were doing in high school, or B, moved away. So, like coming up here and then like joining this organization and saying, hey, I'm moving to Seattle, I like instantly had friends. I was like, hey, man, this is where we go. This is the tracks we go to. Come out, hang out. You sit under my tent. I'll show you how to do this thing. Like this is how Washington does motocross. And that was really really pretty cool, for sure.
Nice.
So, but Chris, every time I would do like I go riding or something, and I take the Instagram, take the picture for the gram.
Yeah.
And I take the picture of me on my bike, or like I was actually wearing a buddy of mine. I don't know if you've heard of a company. It's called Feed Me, Fight Me. They do. It's another better known company. They do like basically like yoga pants, booty shorts, stuff like that. T-shirts, athletic apparel. They're mainly focused on like powerlifting and things like that. So I was I hit up my buddy and I said, yo man, like everybody wears undergarments under their motocross gear. They just don't call them yoga pants.
Right.
They call them a performance base layer. So I was like, well, dude, like I'll wear your shit. Like if I'm gonna wear something anyway, I might as well wear your stuff.
Right.
So like I take the picture of me standing there in my knee braces and my boots and yoga pants only, with the t-shirt on, like standing there drinking. And I tag him in it. But when I would do this, I put my profile to public. So if so people can actually see it. Because it's no good if you have a private profile and then you like tag some company in it.
Right.
So it's like, man, that I want those yoga pants, but nobody can see it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'd set my profile to public for like a day or two, and I would make those posts. And so Chris hit me up. He's like, "Hey man, like, do you race?" And I was like, "Well, no, I don't really race. Like, I'm more fall over in corners. That's like my specialty. I brake at the face of jumps, and I fall over in corners is what I'm better for."
I mean, I think everybody falls over in corners.
Yeah, right. People. Like they go like, well, if you're not crashing, then you're not pushing it. And I was like, well, I appreciate that. That makes me feel better about crashing.
There you go.
But hey man, I'm pushing it. I'm like maximum overdrive, pushing it to the limit over here. And really, it's just me on my little 125 making an ass of myself, tipping over in a rut. But whatever. I'm having fun. So.
There you go. That's what I was gonna ask. Are you having fun? Then it doesn't matter.
I look fast.
Is your gear clean?
Oh, absolutely.
Like,
all the way up until I fall over. And I got like, I'm like a sugar cookie on one side. I look like a snickerdoodle. Like one side's all fucked up and the other side's clean as a whistle.
Yep. So you guys.
Yeah. So anyway, Chris hit me up. Like, hey man, like you want to try out our products? And I was like, yo, absolutely. Like let me I put him in touch with Bobby. And he sent us out some stuff, and like it's really, I mean, there's some cool ass stuff you guys are working with. Like I hate gas cans. I hate them. I can't ever get them to like. You always dump gas. You always spill gas. I mean, gas isn't cheap, but it's more like you don't want to dump chemicals on the ground if you don't have to. You know what I'm saying? Like. Being nobody wants to be an environmentalist because they think that means you're a tree hugger, but realistically, like you're just being a good person.
Right.
Like you don't want to damage the earth for Christ's sake.
We all need to be environmentalists to some point, but yeah, we don't need to chain ourselves to trees.
Yeah, exactly. It's like like if you're not an environmentalist, you're stupid. But like how far do you take that? Like it's there's like an evolution of well, I don't want to get into political stuff, but you can say I'm an environmentalist and go high and right, and you're like you're not an environmentalist anymore. You're just you're a wacko. You're like, no, I'm an environmentalist. You're like, okay, buddy. I'll stick to not dumping grass on the ground and then like riding a bicycle instead of driving my truck. But I appreciate that you chaining yourself to a tree.
Right. Exactly.
But
so, you got the new Spit Shine, or not Spit Shine, the Easy Stroke for the
Yeah,
dry chain lube.
Yeah, so I got the chain lube, and I got the spit shine, and I got the trigger.
Nice.
So the easy stroke, that stuff is awesome.
It's kind of
It's
mind blowing,
awesome.
isn't it?
Yeah. Like I hit up a buddy of mine who's doing Vegas to Reno, I think, and I told him to reach out to you guys. I'm not sure if he did or not, but told him, I was like, dude, you need this stuff. You know, because that's like a hardcore off-road race, and like I'm not doing anything wild and crazy. You know, like I'll go out to my local motors, like the Ridge MX up in Shelton, Washington. I'll go over there. I'll go down to Riverdale, and I bust out some motos. You know, but I'm not beating my bike up. You know, like I told you, I'm not fast. You know.
Yeah.
And but these guys are out there beating the hell out of their machines, and I'm like, dude, you need this stuff. Like this stuff is awesome. Like I'll put it on my bike before I leave for the track. I get to the track, and like you kind of look at it sideways, and you can just see it looks like a wax coating on your chain. You know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, man, let's check this stuff out, because I usually use like the Bel-Ray, which is like that gross white cakey stuff, you know, or any other of the Motorex. You know, any of those other products. I mean, and they're good products, but they just look like hell. You know?
Well, and they're sticky to stay on, so they attract all the dirt, gets stuck to them. So.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's like the other thing that I noticed. So I go out there, and it seems to be like a trend in the Northwest where like they either overwater or underwater the tracks.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's me coming from like Southern California and being a new rider that like doesn't want to ride if there's a rock in the track. You know what I'm saying? Like, who put that rock there? That rock shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
Oh, harumph. You know?
Well, that's only California now.
Yeah. I was gonna say these guys out here are like, like, hey man, like there's a log in the track. We just hop over it. Doesn't matter. You know? White knuckle, just like hardcore dudes, and I'm over here like my penny loafers. Like, no, I can't. Not good. But yeah, I mean, you can go out and tear that stuff up, and then like come back. My bike's all thrashed. My bike's dirty, and the chain just looks immaculate.
Yeah, it's crazy, and I was even skeptical that it was gonna. Because I don't know why in my head it being dry, I was like, I don't know how does this work if it's dry. But I use it on the chain, but like how well can you tell on the chain other than it didn't break or whatever. So I started putting it on like pliers and stuff like that were frozen, seized up, and those things started working miraculously too. So I'm like, okay, there's something going on here for sure.
Yeah, well, dude, I'll put it on like my levers.
Yeah.
I'll spray it inside my levers because it keeps the dirt and everything out of there.
Yeah.
Back in the dirt. And but I mean the biggest, or one of the biggest things I should say that I noticed was how quiet my chain was. Like I'd come jamming into a corner and I'd grab my clutch and I'd slam on my brakes and stuff and try to slide my ass in around. I say that, it did not look nearly as cool as I described it. But I'd come into the corner, trying to do quarter things on my dirt bike, and usually you're hearing your chain like bind up. You're like, and you kind of hear that ripple.
Yeah.
And I wasn't hearing that. And I was like, this is weird. I mean, it's just weird, Or you'd be like taxiing like to or from the start line or like to enter the track. And your chain is just quiet, and you're like, that's pretty impressive. I mean, I think I don't think that was intended, but it's like, that's really keeping metal on metal from like, causing friction and stuff, and that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, for sure. Do you race, or you just been doing some practice?
So my plan is to race next season is when I'm going to race. So they've been like Bobby and the other guys that I ride with and stuff like that. They've been trying to get me to race. Like, dude, just come out. And every time, like, I'll go to a track and I'm like, okay, like, I try to break it down and I'm like, I'm going to hit this jump. I'm going to hit this jump. I'm going to hit this jump. And then, like, once I could hit everything on the track, like, I'm like, okay, you know, like, I would race this track. So there's like like when everybody goes out to the ridge up in Shelton, which is a really, really great track. They've done a lot of stuff at that place and it's awesome. The dude running it's really good dude. But like I'm like, okay, like I'm gonna hit this jump. Oh no, you know, maybe not today. I'll try it next week or something like that. And then I watch like somebody's webcam video from like the vet beginner class, you know, or their GoPro, and these guys are like, bah! I'm just flying over this thing, and I'm like, yeah, it's not gonna happen, you know. So like, I don't want to be dangerous out there. I don't want to hurt anybody, and I don't want to hurt myself. You know? Like I still got to go to work on Monday, so.
I think even if you just let everybody go and started riding and maybe reeled in whoever you reeled in, like I bet you'd probably end up catching somebody. And then,
Yeah.
you know, even if you did a start but like didn't stay that intent on like trying to be the first one, you know, just so you were with the pack.
Yeah.
I bet you'd realize that it's not quite as gnarly, at least in a class like that, as you think it would be.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably right. I mean, I'm positive that you are right, but it's more just like you know, you're freaked out all the way up until you jump out of the plane.
Yeah.
You know, like when you're skydiving. So it's kind of like the same scenario. Like,
Yeah.
But I mean, if I did race, I'd be out there on my 125. So
Nice.
for two reasons: one, if I beat anybody, it's because I'm a badass, and two, if I lose, it's because I'm on a 125.
There you go. So either way,
So it's pretty funny. Like I was talking to Bobby, and I'm like, yo, who races these classes? You know, and he's like, well, it's a bunch of old guys on 450s. You know, I was like, oh, so it's like everybody that's like hauling balls in the straightaway and breaking in corners and on the face of jumps. He's like, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, dude,
that sketchy, man. Sketchy class.
the vet's actually probably one of your better options, like versus doing a beginner class or a novice class with young kids that, you know what I mean, they don't know what they're doing, but they still got huge balls. At least in the vet class, especially if you're in a B or a C vet class, you know, like same thing as you said, they still got to go to work on Monday. So usually people rein themselves in a little bit more.
Yeah. Well, that and like I would feel absolutely terrible if I ran over somebody's kid, you know, or like I don't mind like if I crash and I ball myself up, like that's on me, you know. But if I hurt somebody else, I would feel terrible.
One time when I was young, I was racing and they in the B class, and they happened to put the vets in there with us, and my clutch was going, so I like come around. I was just trying to ride really wide lines so that I didn't have to. Once I pulled my clutch, it took like so long for it to fully re-engage, so I just stopped touching my clutch. And I just swung like super wide and came over this ski jump, and as I come off the ski jump, I saw somebody waving a yellow flag on the other side of the jump, and I landed on some old dude's back. And I felt really bad about that. They tried to protest me and shit, but the track owner knew me and was like, you've been here for years, and I've never seen you just, you know what I mean, jump or run people off the track. Maybe run people off track a little bit, but.
Well, yeah, rubbing is racing.
Yeah, and I always got bad starts. I was kind of notorious for coming through the pack, and if somebody, you know, like cut me off on a real fast straightaway or jumped out of their own rut to hack me off, next turn I had a chance. I was definitely taking them out to the hay bales.
Yeah, stuff them into a corner. That's my buddy of mine actually did that to me and tore my PCL.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, you know, we were riding at Paris in SoCal, and there I am on my you know, my big 450 just putting around, and coming into this corner, and I stick my leg out, you know, as is the motocross custom, right? So I put my foot out by my front wheel, and this dude just comes in and just slide tackles me, like his back wheel pinned my leg against my front wheel. I went like bike went this way, I went that way, and it tore my PCL.
So is that what you were doing rehab for this morning?
Well, no, that was for my ankle, which as soon as I got out here, it was like the first week I came out here. It was like December. It was New Year's Eve. I was like, I'm gonna go ride a dirt bike. I haven't ridden a dirt bike in 2 weeks. I'm going nuts. I don't care if it's 0 degrees out, because it's like snow and ice on the ground.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I mean, I'm going down. Yeah, I mean the weather's garbage. I was like, I'm gonna go freaking down to Riverdale and send it because that's like the only track that's open during the winter that I was aware of at the time. So I mean, I'm out there. I got latex gloves underneath my cold weather riding gloves. So I'm pretty much in snow gloves. My goggles are fogging up, and it's muddier than all hell. And like I'm used to Pala Raceway, which is now Fox Raceway,
Right.
or Milestone. They're pristine. And so I have the 2017 Husqvarnas come with traction control. So they have like a fast mode, a slow mode, and traction control. So it's like the last laps of the day, and I'm like, I'm gonna try out traction control. Let's do something that I've never done before in an unfamiliar track when I'm tired. And I put on traction control, and I came around this stupid little. It was probably like a 20-foot jump in third gear, and like third gear on those things is long. It's long, So like if you hit third gear, like you're going,
Yeah.
And I'm used to kind of the back end like sliding out a little bit and losing some traction, And no, I hooked up and I landed about 20, 30, probably 15 to 20 feet past the landing of the jump and just flat landed and into the woods, And I just as soon as I hit the ground, like it hyper flexed my ankle. And I just heard like this audible pop, I was like, snap. And I was like, oh, and then I landed and then I fell over, once the bike stopped. And like some little kid comes up like, hey, mister, you okay? I'm like, yeah, man, I'm good. And then I stood up and like tried to put weight on my foot. I was like, ah. So nothing was broken, but we're doing the physical therapy thing before MRI time. But
Yeah.
So that's what I was at physical therapy for this morning. But I went out, so to alleviate that, I went out and got a set of Fastway Air EXT, the ankle saver foot pegs.
Yeah.
Those things are nice. They're nice. And if you call the company direct, they'll give you a military discount. So I was like, hey man, like actually ordered them through guys down in Portland, Oregon, CCKTM.
Uh-huh.
Those guys are awesome down there. Super cool guys. And they called and got me a killer discount on them. So I got them for both bikes. But so that helps me, like, just like elbow pads, neck brace, good helmet, the little hip pad girdle things. The more things that I can do to save myself an injury, the better for me. So.
For sure. I mean, I think everybody feels that way. I, for some reason, don't wear very many pads anymore.
Well, I mean, if you don't hit the ground, you don't hit the ground.
Well, that's not. I've definitely hit the ground, but the thing is, like, I feel like the times I've gotten hurt, the crashes. Well, not every time, but a lot of times when I got hurt, the crashes were so bad that like a chest protector wasn't gonna help me anyway, or whatever, or like the hip pads in your pants or something. I don't know. Maybe they would.
Yeah,
Maybe I would have had a lot less bumps and bruises, but.
Yeah, I took out the hip pads and I wear the like Troy Lee Shock Doctor girdle. So I mean that's good. That's good enough. But like you said, like if the crash is gnarly enough, it's probably not gonna matter. But like honestly, I'm not really going fast enough to have like a super gnarly crash. I'll have like the stupid little crash that hurts way more than it should. Well, I'm not out there hitting triples and throwing whips and stuff like that. Like the only whip that I throw is like if I'm putting my bike on a stand. That's about the equivalent of how much my back tire moves. And if it moves more than that in the air, I can't turn it back.
You're in trouble.
Like in there, take off, and I'm like, this is right. This is good. So.
I rode a
So,
KTM with that traction control, and it's serious. Like it's totally a cheater
yeah.
thing.
Oh yeah. Like you come up, like it'll chop your throttle, and if you start braking, but it does not let you slip. Like you can try, but you're going forward. You
Yeah.
know?
It's weird. It's crazy coming out of like I rode it on a pretty hard pack, like fairly flat track. Like there wasn't a bunch of ruts and stuff. And on my
Yeah.
450, I'm coming out of the corners, and same thing you said, like I have to be mindful of the gas or my back end will start to, my wheels spin and then my back end will start to try to like walk out on me sideways a little bit.
Yeah, like flat tracking.
Yeah, KTM would not do that no matter what. Come out of the corner, bury the throttle, and it'll just feed the throttle on as fast as it can handle without breaking loose.
Yeah, the technology behind these bikes is insane. And like that's the reason why you go to the store and you try to buy a 2017 or a 2018 Husqvarna or a KTM, they're still 10 grand
Yeah.
out the door. You know what I'm saying? Like you get like they're like, oh, we got $1,000 off of a 2017 Husqvarna. It's like, dude, it's 2018. I can go out and buy a 2018 Kawasaki for 6 grand.
Right.
An RNZ 450 from 2017, 2018, they're like $5,500 and it's 0% interest.
Yeah.
But the Husqvarnas or the KTM's, dude, like the prices don't come down. They're made very well. So I was spoiled right off the bat.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you should have had to have a carbureted old 450 and deal with that bullshit.
Yeah, well, I'm getting a little bit of that with the 125. So I'm like, man, like my bike's bogging out on me a little bit. My buddy's like, what's your jets at? I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
But that's
my air filter. What are you talking about?
But the 2-strokes aren't even as bad as being finicky, like versus the 4-strokes are.
Oh, I'm sure.
Altitude.
Like when I was looking for bikes, my buddy was like, don't even mess with a carbureted bike. Just get a fuel injector.
Yeah, certainly 450s. The carbureted 450s were weird. They almost all had this weird dead spot in them. And just kind of ran weird, hard to warm up and stuff. But, yeah, the injection ones are sick. They do it all for you.
Yeah. Well, I had no business being on a 450 period. I should have bought like a 250.
Yeah.
So.
It's good It's good you bought a second bike though to get yourself comfortable, because that's like one of my biggest pet peeves or things I tell people when they have little kids or people that are young, because they all like want to ride the the biggest bike that they can, and I'm like you said, I said if it scares you, then you're not going to learn as much because you're going to be intimidated. It's better. You're better off riding something small that you feel comfortable on, and you can learn and progress, and then work your way up.
If I would have started out with a YZ125, I probably would still only have a YZ125. Realistically, like I'd probably put like a big bore kit on it. I'd probably start buying stupid stuff that I didn't need, but I would be plenty happy with a YZ125. And they're great little bikes, and it's cheap to maintain. Like I got the thing, put a couple hours on it, blew the motor up, not because I was fast and blew the motor up, because whoever was in the motor last like splintered a bearing inside of it, and then just put the cases back on and sold it to me like a jerk.
Nice.
It was super cool. But guys down in SoCal, Crow Performance in Southern California, he does a race tech suspension, and but he's the one who built my engine in that. And the bike cost me $2,000 for the bike, and cost me $1,300, $1,400 for the motor, like complete.
Yeah.
Like complete. Yeah. So he pulled the motor out, like everything on the inside of those cases is brand new, and put it back together. Where you go to like a 450, it cost me $600 to pull the top end off.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're almost saying just to do a upper end on the thing. Well, If you go through it and replace everything, I bet you're over $1,000 to do a top end. You know, if you do all the valve shims and all that shit.
Right. Which, I mean, is another thing, like, why people go like, oh, I don't want to buy a Husqvarna or a KTM because they're too expensive. But, I mean, they got titanium valve shims, you know? So, like, these guys are coming in and, like, to get a Japanese bike shim, they're putting 3, 4, 5 shims in sometimes. I had one shim for them.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like, they're good bikes. It's what they're made to do. So,
well, I'm a Honda
not
guy.
that Japanese bikes aren't good, because they are. But, I mean, honestly, at my level, it wouldn't matter anyway. But I just, like, you buy a $10,000 bike, you don't want to keep dumping money into it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I got a 13 CRF 450, and as far as I know, it's bone stock, and the thing plenty fast. Suspension's sick. You know, like back in the day, stock suspension kind of sucked if you were any fast at all. You know, but now these things are so sick that this is like I've had obviously bikes with suspension done and everything as far as race bikes, and this is the best suspension I'd say that I ever had on like a moto bike in my entire life, and it's just bone stock.
That's awesome. Yeah, like the thing that I ran into is like the bikes are set up for like a 150-pound rider.
Yeah.
You know, so like
and like an intermediate.
I'm 205, butt naked, like dry as a bone in the morning. So I put my gear on and everything. I'm probably like 215.
Yeah.
You know, I get on my little YZ125, and the suspension on that's for somebody who's like 130 pounds. I'm like, okay, you know, like I need to get this done. My Husqvarna is a little. I had a bigger spring put in the back, like so I could get my sag where I wanted it.
Yeah.
But a lot of this stuff, like when people like ride their bikes and stuff, like tooling around with the settings and like adjusting your suspension, setting your sag, raising and lowering your forks, like little stuff like that. Like I just watch YouTube videos on this stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like I was like, how do I set my suspension up like a pro, right? And I watched like the Pro Taper video on it, you know, a Rockstar Energy Husqvarna video. And I'm setting up my bike, I mean, like the pros, but there's like a reason that they do it that way. You know, they're like, okay, you know, you got a wet track, you jack your forks up, or a soft track, you jack your forks up. It's a hard pack track, you lower your forks down. And it's like just little things like that you can change that like really help your riding experience. You know, like if you're rolling around with 20 PSI in your tires, like your front end's going to be a shovel. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're on a soft track with 20 PSI, like you turn the front of your bike into a plow.
Yeah.
You know, you're not hitting the corner. You're not going to stay in a rut like that. You're going to blow everything out. You're going to have a terrible time. So if you drop your PSI, like you're riding sandy stuff, you drop your PSI down to like 10.5 PSI. You know, soften your suspension up a little bit, and it just does wonders.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's why those guys, you know, they say it all the time about you know, factory guys, and they'll be in whatever 6th place, and then next week he gets 2nd, and then they're like, we made some adjustments to the bike, and all it is getting it so that you feel as comfortable as possible, so that you're not thinking about getting bucked over your bars the whole time, you know.
Yeah, you're just making that bike like it should be like literally an extension. You know, like when you're coming through the corner, your whole body's coming through the corner. You're putting your leg out. You're looking through. You know, you're leaning, and the bike should follow you. And where you run into problems is when you're going this way and the bike starts going this way. You know, but like it could be something stupid like a couple of clicks on your forks. You know, like, man, my front tire keeps popping out of ruts. Let me go back to square one, put everything back in the middle, and start messing with my clickers a little bit, you know?
That's the best way to do it, because it's very easy to get lost. And I've done it a million times. Click here, click there, click this, that. And next thing you know, a week in, I'm like, I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing anymore. I'm just going to go back to, you know, standard, which is like usually 13 out, and then just start from there again.
And depending on the color of your forks, I know like Kawasaki I think has like black fork lowers. I'm not sure like the upper forks what color they are, but if you get a TEC Sharpie marker. So or we call them tech markers, aerospace. It's a trace element certified. It's like a $12 Sharpie marker.
Mm-hmm.
But you can write your clickers on the side of your shock, and then you can just take like alcohol or acetone,
Yeah.
and just wipe it off. But I mean, like soap, water won't take the stuff off. So you're making your adjustments on your clickers. You can just literally write on the side of your shock. I'm 16 out on this side, 16 out on this side, and you're good. And then you go to make an adjustment, wipe it off, and write it on there again. I try to not make it any harder than it has to be because I'm already like not that great. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to give myself every advantage that I can to, so I can go out there and have fun.
Well, it's good. It sounds like you're learning.
Yeah, I've been riding for about a year, a little more than a year. So I'm getting better.
Yeah, you're a newbie. I wouldn't worry about it. I mean, here's the thing. It's like anything. Like anything that anybody does. I just started doing comedy, and people go, "Are you killing it?" And I'm like a year and a half in. You know what I mean? Like, no. I went to Guyana and did a safari ride, and those guys down there were some of them that were like the better riders were trying to compete with me, and I was like, dude, how long have you been riding? And he's like, 4 years. I was like, I've ridden 30. Like, you know what I mean? It's silly to think that I'm gonna jump into comedy and be amazing, or that anyone's gonna jump onto a dirt bike and just be amazing right off of the bat. Everything takes some work. So.
Yeah, somebody tagged it on Instagram with a hashtag or something. But they said go slow like a pro.
What'd you say?
And it's like that. What's up?
What did you say? It broke up a little. Go slow, look like a pro.
Yeah, go slow, look like a pro. And it's like breaking it down to like fundamentals. Like okay, like coming into a turn, clutch, brake, downshift, squeeze the bike, slide up. You know what I'm saying? Like lots. Like if I get ahead of myself. If I find myself getting ahead of myself and like I'm just a little bit off, I'll like just go back to basics, man. Or like I don't have a whole lot of ego associated with motocross, So like I don't mind going up to like the kid that's like throwing fat whips over there that's half my age, and I'm like, hey dude, can you watch me go through this corner and tell me what I'm doing? Or like you find like the track dads, like the dads that like yell at their kids for no reason, like you're not gonna ride that bike. Then I'm gonna sell it, boy. Go up to that guy. And go, hey man, could you yell at me for a second? Like, give your kid a break. You know?
Yeah.
Those guys, they love doing that stuff. They'll just sit there and like they'll pick you apart. So, but I try not to have a big ego about it. Because you can learn. Not just motocross. You can learn something from everybody, whether like it's how to be or how not to be.
Yeah. For sure.
So you could that guy that is a douchebag to his kid. You'd be like, well. That's not a good example, for me as a father figure. But the guy is right, like I'm too far back in my seat when I'm hooking a left turn on this thing. Maybe I should try that other route.
Right. Yeah. So,
but like my thing with that is like trying to like following people over jumps, like getting a toe. I'll try to get a toe as often as possible because like I don't like when you listen to people like yourself that ride. A lot. You've been riding for 30 years, and you talk to somebody else that's been riding for 30 years, and you go, hey man, how do I hit that jump over there? They're like, like you come around the corner, like third gear, like half throttle, and then just give it a little blip. And you know what that means. And then I'm coming around the corner, half throttle in third gear, which is actually like 1/4 throttle because I'm not going nearly as fast as I think I am. You know what I'm saying? And it's completely different.
Do you know the sounds yet? Do you talk?
What are you talking? You're talking about like how the bike sounds? You're like,
like people. Yeah, we'd always tell each other, you go, how do you hit that? And you're like, it's like, exactly. They'd be like, it's second pretty good, and then you talk about it and they go, it's like, I've had people make sounds to me, and somebody else that didn't road look at me and goes, do you have any? I said, yeah, actually I know exactly how hard to hit it now after he did that. The way that it sounded, he's hitting it hard as hell. And the guy that was telling me how to hit, he goes, yeah. He's like, you gotta. I was like, sounds like he's going at it, and at the end he's like completely wrapped out. And he was like, yeah. And I go, yeah, I could tell what he meant by the sounds.
Yeah, it's one of the guys I used to ride with in SoCal was this Aussie guy, and like my buddy that got me into riding motocross was a road biker, and then he did like street bike, and he did motocross like kind of for fun. And the Aussie guy was like mainly a motocross guy, and he came out. He's like, all right, mate. He's like, you're sitting too far back in the corner. You need to come up to that corner there and just slide up and put your dick right in your tank, mate. And I'm like, I'm starting to laugh because I was like, this motherfucker just said, put your dick in the tank. He's like, right here, mate. You're gonna put your dick right here in the tank. And you come around, and then you bah, you know. And I'm like, I'm still new to this, and he's doing exactly what you were saying, you know. And
Yeah.
so I kept trying to hit this jump. I kept trying to hit it. And he's like, listen to this guy's bike. And the guy comes up like, what? You know, hits this jump. He's like, your bike is quiet. It sounds like your bike is off.
Yeah.
Come around the corner and just wring its fucking neck, mate. Just wring its neck.
You do a really good Australian accent.
So, which I found out is not a New Zealand accent.
No.
I talked to a guy who I was trying to get into the race of gentlemen. Where they race like old classic Indians and Harleys down the beach and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, that looks cool as shit. You know, I want to get in on that. How much for an Indian? And he was a guy from New Zealand. He's like, oh, you know, we'll piece you a bike together for about $20,000. I was like, excuse me? You know, but I was like, hey man, like, because I've been to Australia a few times with the military. So I was like, oh, hey man, you Australian? He's like, I'm from fucking New Zealand.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, like, I'm sorry, dude. Like, it sounds similar to like a Yank, you know what I'm saying? Like, and he goes, well, you know what the problem with Australia is? And I was like, what's up, man? He goes, it's full of Australians.
Yeah.
Like, oh. And then like I met a girl from New Zealand, and she was like, yeah, we don't like each other.
Yeah. But probably because everybody just thinks the same. You know, it's like if you're removed from it, if you're all the way on this side of the planet, right? New Zealand and Australia are right next to each other. And people say that shit all the time. They go, oh, they're right there. It's pretty much the same thing. Then you like break it down for them and you go, you know, I'm from New Jersey. So I'd be like, oh, that's like, you're a New Yorker pretty much. And they go, no, fuck that. And I'm like, I mean, it's pretty much the same thing, especially if you live on the other side of the damn globe.
Yeah, man, like, it's not even the same, like, Northern to Southern California. Like, they hate each other and they're in the same state. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty funny. For sure.
Well, shit, Justin. I guess we'll wrap her up.
We could, for a recap, the trigger system, super impressed with it. Like, I love it. I'm gonna order 2 more for my other 2 gas cans. They're it's awesome, man. Like, I mean, I was using it. You know, it's on my gas can for my pressure washer. You know, every gas can I have, I want one of those triggers on because I mean, it reduces waste, and you know, you can actually kind of see what's going on, and you're not like, you know, past the point of no return. You know, trying to look in your tank, and then you're like, oh. You know, trying to tilt your jug back before you dump gasoline all over your lawnmower.
Yeah, and pulling it back and letting the hose stay in there until it drains out, and then without shooting it all over the place.
Yeah, that's an awesome system there. Chain lube, great. I love it. I'm gonna keep using that. I'm trying to get all my friends to use it. The spit shine. What I really want is because before I started using the spit shine, I was just using WD-40.
Yeah.
So I would just spray the whole bike down WD-40, wipe everything down. And I really want to, like, I used the spit shine and I was impressed for sure. You know, that's also a good product. So, yeah, man.
Well, awesome. Just keep riding and tagging Stroker and everything, and maybe in the future.
Yeah, I got 2 or 3 posts backed up. I got to tag you guys. It's been slacking on my social media.
There you go. No worries. I fall off the wagon sometimes too, and just go MIA. So it's whatever.
Yeah. All right. I mean, I tag like boring stuff, like when I'm drinking egg whites and eating toast.
Yeah, that's my thing. Like, I don't feel like my day-to-day stuff is really that entertaining that anybody gives a shit.
Yeah, well, like my buddy goes, I use Instagram to make money, and I was like, oh, he's a personal trainer, you know,
Yeah.
and he's like, I use Instagram to make money. That's how I like help run my business and get clients and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, I use Instagram to like look at butts and then like try to convince myself that like my boring ass food that I eat every day is not boring because I use like a stupid hashtag.
Or a filter.
Yeah, you know, like I'll just filter my egg whites that are in a cup, you know, because I hate egg whites, you know. But whatever.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right,
It's
dude.
good talking to you for sure, man.
Yeah, you too. And thanks for repping the brand. And thank you also for your service. Thanks for serving the country.
Hey, no worries, man.
All right.
So, all right, brother. Take care. All right. Take it easy.
Yep. Later.